60 beats per minute. Here, this is a 2-minute timer. Let's see how it matches up. Just for the fun of it, give you something to do. I'm not going to be paying attention. If somebody, I might check later. I'm sure it's going to be right on, but I wonder how close. All right, ready? So let's see. For the metronome, metronome. The detrimental metronome. This actually needs more of a stable. There. That's cool. Oh, hooey. Whatever. The things I go through sometimes, you know? All right. You know, a metronome is one of the few things that's useful when it's all wound up. Off the beat. That was a little suggestive. Sorry. I highly recommended brushing your teeth with a metronome That's something I would do. I'm weird like that. And 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and I fucked it up because I didn't turn it the right on. We're really just doing this for visual interest anyway, mostly, and for the pleasingness of the metronome. That is me. I feel like red hot chili peppers or some shit. All right. Or basic based. Yeah, boy. Now we want a cadence on a strong beat because it's a masculine cadence as opposed to a feminine cadence. 3, 4, 1. Done. There we go. All right. That's how all musicians brush their teeth, just so you know. All right. Though I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg cadenced on a strong beat. Interestingly enough, I was telling a friend of mine the other day that if anybody's familiar with Palmer method penmanship, cursive writing, in the textbook they recommend the old one from the 1940s, or I think it was that edition that came out in the 1940s. That because I used to have it, that you practice your circles basically before you start writing letters, before you get to that point. That you practice your muscular movements in circles to a metronome. And I gotta tell you, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this already. Because, and I haven't, and I gotta tell you, the problem that the metronome would solve, I would not have if I did. And that is writing where your letters are smooth and they don't have any points, like where they're supposed to be nice and flowing. Where they change into like points, like if you let's see, L, O, E. Like the other day in E, I made a point because my arm was tense or fingers were tense, and my the writing was kind of going from relaxed to cramped and fast and uncontrolled. kind of, just like music can do that. So can writing. You can see it in writing. You can see like how we have moments our writing gets kind of tense, like in a center of a word between certain letters, and then other letters it seems to be more relaxed. That's the cure. So that all letters, all motions of the arm are even. And all strokes are even. So I don't know, some people don't, especially if you block print. Some people write all letters, that would take forever to do any kind of writing. Block print at the same speed. But most of us that write, we have moments of like, you just did like 3 letters in the space of 1, you know what I mean? And then like, some letters take longer than others with the way you write. This is the cure to make all that even, says Palmer Method. And I think it's pretty effing cool. I'm going to put this back now, and we're going to, actually I'm going to do this and then put that back while I'm walking around with this in my mouth. How about that? Mouthwash is nice. I mean, you can walk around and do other things while it's still in your mouth. Unlike some other things my ex-wife used to do. No, I'm straight for that joke. That just sounded like a straight joke in my head. I was like, I gotta be straight for that one. All right. Of course, we've been used to doing that for all the 20th century. Let's do, are you a communist or are you gay? No and no. All right, absolutely not. Okay. Now I sound like a communist. Shit. Never been to a gay, well, have I been to a gay pride? I avoid gay pride parades like the I mean, I can't think of a place I would rather go and probably get maybe like a minor filling that would require anesthesia without it than than maybe spend like a day at a gay pride parade. Because I've talked about this before. I'm not going to talk about it now. It's just not me. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. All right. If I went to one, honestly, I would be honest. If I went to one, it would probably be go to try to score drugs somehow because I was trying to get high and couldn't get high any other way. Like I can't think of another reason why I want to go. Like really. And honestly, the people that go kind of feel that way too. It's not all bad. It isn't all that bad. I'm not saying that there isn't a good reason to go. I'm just saying that not 1970. Our group, I mean, it's true that sexual liberation is a part of gay live, absolutely, but we don't need to see people getting blowjobs on like parade floats anymore, and people just being like fucked up on crystal meth. You know what I mean? That's the whole event. I mean, it's it, and the weird thing is, I'm not disparaging it too badly either, because when gay liberation, I don't mind taking extra time for this. Screw it. I'm gonna redo it. That's the important thing. When gay liberation first came about, like at Stonewall and stuff like that, like there was no gay community like there is today. As far developed as it is today in society. And so, like, what was important to gay men back then? Being able to have sex with the men they wanted to and hang out in the bars that they congregated at. So those were pretty huge priorities. And so, it's understandable why you know what I mean? It's understandable exactly why that's important. Why, you know what I mean? When people say, well, you're gay, why are you gonna tell everyone? I can understand why, you know what I mean? For those guys especially, it's a big, it's more of a big deal than it might be to some other people, where it's not just a liberation issue or something like that, But today, it's a little bit different. And the thing is that, like, if I was raising a gay kid, I wouldn't be thrilled with them having, like, pop gay culture as, like, as the role model, really. I mean, and that's because there is a lot of substance abuse, there's a lot of suicide nets, there's a lot of, think about it. Imagine if we had gay shows on TV, and all the characters were like the Big Bang Theory. There's nothing like that. Being a cool gay character on TV means you have really snarky, cool responses to things. You know what I mean? Like, that's not okay, but like, I'd rather. Why don't they? You know what I mean? They need to create us in the image of like Big Bang Theory. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody just wants to be like RuPaul and have a good fucking comeback. Like, that's what's that worth? So the culture kind of needs to change a little bit, I think. But we need to be understanding about where it is, and that still needs to be where it is now for a reason. That doesn't mean that we can't somehow, like, as we're doing, and people are doing it, it's also moving in some other direction. But I'm one of the people that kind of thinks, like, all right, we need to kind of, like, think of, like, progeny and our future and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, even as a drug addict, I'm not, I still don't go to gay pride parades. So, one time, well, this kind of sounds hella gay. One time I intended to go to the gay pride parade, but the night before I got so fucked up at the bar that I didn't make it. That's actually pretty gay, right there. But that's actually almost too straight, because gay people, they go to the parade, they don't miss it. Last time my friend wanted to take us to the parade, and I was I was ready to go, but I wasn't like rushing to get us out the door to get there, so we didn't get there on time, and I was like, that's fine with me. All right. You know how stuff kind of just, when you're not really 100% committed to something, how stuff you kind of just let, like, get in the way? Yeah. All right. I'm still here doing this Floss, though. Come on. There's a deal at the wedding with me and Floss that this would be it. All right. This is a long one. Good, 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 good. Mister, we could use a man like Mikhail Gorbachev again. Didn't you know Putin stayed? Call the scum and launch the hay. You know what? I have to admit, I saw some pictures of Vladimir Putin when he was a young guy. Like when he was like, maybe like, he looked like he was like 20 something. I have to admit, whatever. I think he's pretty attractive actually back then. I mean, like in a strange, you know what I mean? In his Putin way. You know what I mean? But like, you don't hear many Americans like, you know what I mean, on their Facebook. Like, I think Putin's pretty hot. You know what I mean? Like, the only people you hear doing that, and I saw on the news the other day, is like 16-year-old girls in Russia with a Russian flag painted on their cheek at the rally. You know what I mean? He's just the greatest man ever. I'm like, how? There are not many 16-year-olds that say that about 60-something-year-old politicians. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Unless it's in totalitarian states. You know what I mean? You know, there's that. People are very enthusiastic about politics. You know, young people that are into politics are very enthusiastic, but not adoring like that here. You know what I mean? Like, jeez. Unless they're friggin' trying to get like a position in somewhere, like trying to, you know what I mean? And they're like an intern trying to score a friggin' job. Feinstein, oh my God, with the American flag. That's how I go to their rallies. I'm like, oh. Hope my hair's that color when I'm 88. I hope my husband is that fucking rich when I'm 88. Woo! I'm very fond of, you know, good and bad. A lot of people don't like Dianne Feinstein as mayor of San Francisco. A lot of people thought she was a fucking disaster. You know, one of the things that she did, when I learned this, I was like, no way. Because this is like, you don't need to know a lot about politics to know this is like, oh shit, now I know the kinds of things that made everybody hate her. And it was like, I guess like during the time of the Night Stalker, remember Richard Ramirez? The police here were doing some like investigation or whatever, and there's like a lag, like there is, like, you know what I mean, like where you have periods of time like where you're like, oh, okay, we're making progress, and then things just hit a wall, and then they don't progress for a while. And she was frustrated about that anyway, and all the things that police were holding back, okay, like they knew about him, like for example, they were pretty damn sure they had like, you know, what kind of shoes he wore, what kind of gun it was, and so other stuff like that. She fucking came right out and said, we know that you wear like these shoes, and we know that you're using this gun, and it fucking threw the investigation back, because they later found that he got rid of got rid of those things. And keep that in mind about the police when they don't want to tell that, you know, oftentimes we don't know why they don't want to. Sometimes there's going to be bad reasons they don't want to. Yeah, you're right, but there's also a lot of good reasons not to tell, you know, and that is a fucking perfect reason right there. And yeah, so I mean, like, it was like, oh, geez, really? She gave away everything that we knew. You know, as mayor, it just came right out. And it was like, no way. Oh my God. It's like, I can't believe that she did that, you know? Especially, not only can I not believe that she did that, I can't believe that she, like, did that. Well, I wonder if she told anyone she was going to do that, because if she did, there's no way that anybody said, like, okay. Like, I mean, everybody would have been up her ass about it. And she probably did that and did it anyway. Or, I don't know, who knows? Either way. But I still like her because, number one, she's a piece of this place. You know what I mean? Not everybody's perfect. I've done worse stuff than, well, maybe not like publicly worse stuff than that, but I bet you Diane Feinstein would hear some stuff about me and probably go, well, all told, I would rather have done that than done that other thing that you did. You know what I mean? Who knows, right? You know? It's just a mistake, you know? I mean, I don't know. Like, one thing I think is awesome about Gavin Newsom is that he's like truly San Francisco. And that means a lot to me. You know, and maybe if I was like from, Virginia, Jesse Helms would have made a lot to me no matter what, too. I don't know. Like, I mean, sometimes that does, sometimes I think that's a good thing. I really do. I think a lot of times that we run into a problem, or at least I do, I run into a problem where too often it's people fall short of being able to see the other person's point of view. And I think if you err on the side of, I know this is kind of switched a little bit from the Diane Feinstein thing, but I think that erring on finding common ground with somebody more so than people think is good for you to do is probably, a better thing than the contrary, obviously. So, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to remind you, as I always do, show you my teeth, because I do that usually. I don't miss flossing, because if you miss flossing one day, your teeth will start falling out the next day. Yeah. But, God, now no one's gonna floss. They're like, no, they didn't. Bullshit. Alright. No, brush your teeth. The floss, especially, and to say your prayers. I'll see you in the next video.